Everybody knows Clubhouse. It's right now. It is a fan favorite for getting booted out of the comp map pool and getting replaced with something like Nighthaven Labs or Consulate, because we've seen this map over and over and over and over again. And with Vianney starting out on the attack, you can expect them to be bringing out something a little bit standard. I mean, recently we're seeing a lot of hard breach get taken out on Clubhouse, a Thermite, a Habana, but Flores does make sense. I don't think it's as popular on a map like Clubhouse, but you can really see the influence he has when you're trying to attack the gym area. You need to make sure you get rid of all the castle barricades, deployable shields, and taking him off the board just makes it a little bit easier, with the Thatcher Band being the supplement.
Yeah, no surprises right there. I like floors for the basement as well, kind of taking it to the top of the building and the very bottom of the building, especially for clearing through blue if you go for a bunker side or a blue stairs side take as well, and looking to pinch in through that side, which is a little less common right now, and it's going to be a lot harder without him on the table throughout this match as we see it get going. Kaid really solid right there with Thatcher being unavailable. It's hard to get into the basement, and that'll make it a veritable bunker once we get deeper into the match if he's not off the table like he is now.
Yeah, the basement is essentially what Kaid calls his home. It's a fortress when you have those hatches, especially if Thatcher is off the board. And Pulse, being that last ban, that is a surprise to me, Treasure. Pulse almost never gets played on a lot of these sites. I mean, the only area where you would see him would be the basement, and a lot of times you're playing a very risky game playing underneath the soft floor because of how much influence a Sledge will have, a Buck will have, which you can see. The Buck is in play, but that'll leave Mira up. That'll leave a Zombie and Valkyrie up. Neither of them being played, or one of them, excuse me, Dallas Pickle is bringing them up, but all right, going to Jim Bender. You got any thoughts on who you see coming out of this?
Yeah, well, right off the bat, I see some interesting things. Mira was left on the table, someone gone unspoken during the banning phase, and so Reno is going to make it pretty strong defense up in the bathroom over there, which is always hard to contend with. On the other side, we're even eyeing Callie, which is a pretty interesting one that can have big ramifications, especially on this farthest west hallway by B site, because she can command that whole line of sight and make it super hard for you to hold this hallway that we're looking at right now on this 90 corridor.
And having that Callie when there is a Thatcher ban, it does make it a little bit easier to get the wall open, because Jam Lover is going to be on the bandit. You could have a little bit of a bandit trick in play, which, funny enough, is actually really hard to counter as a Callie, because once your lance goes out, you can't control the timing of it. You can't actually deploy any hard breach until after the lance has deployed, which then allows the bandit to get right back on the wall. I like Kamenade's chances here when they're trying to defend towards that gym side, but as Vianney, they go towards the actual CC side, get that open very early on, and already 2 bandit batteries taken off the table. It seems like Cam Lover is not going to go for the bandit trick, and this wall will get opened easy as pie.
That's exactly what the attack wants to see. This is exactly what Vianney wants, especially with the split push, as they have other players moving in through cash room as well. We saw Gugs playing pretty aggressively into the breaching hole as it was coming up, and yeah, the attackers are very aware that they are around this corner somewhere, and they're going to double breach this to get a better line of sight and really catch this defensive player in this room. It's going to be almost impossible for Strix to survive coming out of cash unless it's on the back of a double kill.
Reload.
Strix decides to stay in cash. You've got Ivan looking towards the actual con window, and Fairy God Mommy could be the first player to encounter the Wamai, but the timer continues to tick down, and now a drone will spot the Wamai. The pinch might come out. Can he take any players down with him? Still alive. He slinks forward, finds the head of the Nomad, but doesn't take it off. But there's Gug. Gets that kill onto Ifans. And so far, the cash area will be unabated, but as Strix falls, the Vianney attack will start entirely making their way towards construction, but without that Callie, who was looking over by that hot tub wall.
Gug's still doing a great job of holding this extended push and making it difficult for actually, oh yeah, any more pressure to come from Cashroom, getting a second kill through that soft wall that they left intentionally open for just that situation. Elsewhere, Haruno was successful in finding that kill that you mentioned as well, which has really choked out the attack. Just two players, one of them inside and one of them still on the awning, trying to find a way in. Fairy Godmommy does have the opportunity to put down some gadgets, make sure that runouts aren't going to be a big stressor for them, but it's a tough spot, especially now that the defense knows their location.
Nothing to take out that Black Mirror. All Fairy Godmommy could do is see it and try to go somewhere else. The same with Waxes. And they're probably going to enter from the construction window, maybe the actual site window, because with 20 seconds left, there are not a lot of options, Treasure. There are 4 Shamanad players left alive, and they are not going to be peeking these angles anytime soon. Black Eye Camera is taken out, but Shamanad knows that these players are entering their domain. They find one. Waxis is able to get one, but that is all that remains. A pretty dominant first round for Shamanad, starting off with their roam that was able to waste a lot of time and take a lot of bodies with them.
Absolutely. Standout plays from Gugs there, finding a 3K by the end of this round, and I love the discipline from Shamanad. They're not pushing out, not giving away any chance that they have with that lead. It's a 2-4 position. You should not have any reason to be losing a player unless it's an immediate trade out, just like what we saw. That's textbook plays right there. And they're going to be heading downstairs to the basement at this point. I think with Vianney banning out both the Kaid and Thatcher, that kind of speaks to me that they have plans moving towards kitchen whenever it comes down to the basement attack. And especially with this initial pick of a fuse, it might not be held all the way, but with Buck and IQ as well, that really sends that home to me.
Your bombs from being defused by attackers.
This is one of the few sites you'll actually see fuse because of the giant area that you have to control, the amount of utility you can take down. It does make sense why you'd want to bring fuse. I mean, hell, look at this. He can take out Lamai. He can take out the bulletproof cameras that Maestro has. He can clear out those black mirrors. You can get so much value as cardboard, but you need to make sure that you're actually safe while you're doing it, because 3 C4s are on the board, and Shamanad could very easily just huck one up, blow it, take off a very large piece of utility, and, well, you already lost round 1. You cannot lose another one without starting to get in a little bit of a mental rut as well.
Ooh, and that is not going to help you progress in that regard. Gugs having that 4th kill in the game so far. A little spawn peek with the Roni, just taking the head off of Fairy Godmommy and starting things off well. They can continue to play slow on the defense and wait for Vianney to come downstairs to them.
It's not a good start. Because you had those secondary hard breaches, you put a lot of value into Cosmic Ape, which isn't a bad thing by any means. Habana can get all of those hatches open, but the roam is going to be a threat. Shamanad are going to have Gugs continue to lurk around lounge, around the areas where they actually need to put pressure on the attack, and you can imagine that he will anytime soon with cardboard. He's above the kitchen. He's able to put those cluster charges down, clear out directly below the hatch. Not too much more than that, as another one will be detonated, and still not many kills, not many damage done to players, just clearing out the site at this point.
It does worry me now that we get to see, we have the omniscience here. We get to see the basement, see no one is in there, and there aren't really any notable gadgets to speak of. So the fuse gadget has been just covering fire for Habana's pellets to go out, but it also speaks to me that there might not be vision down there, as Gugs gets a 2nd kill on the roam, flashed out even. Still has an opportunity to keep things going if anyone else comes by, but there's not another player out here to do the roam clear, which is going to be a pivotal position at this point if we keep seeing Gugs go like this.
Gugs does fall to iFlint, and now with the Talon Shields in play, he's going to be able to push this up throughout the corridor. C4 throws out, it's not shot out, and iFlint barely lives. Puts down another Talon Shield, completely unabated, but now actually pushes up into blue. He's by himself. They don't have much help, which may not bode well. And honestly, all of Vianney doesn't have much help here, Treasure. They're going to have to go for some risky plays that may drop the diffuser, may end up in a lot of bodies falling on the ground, but you haven't really done much. And maybe a big play is your only chance of taking this round.
They look a little unsure right now. Usually those flashbangs are going to directly precede a drop or at least a push from another angle. But unfortunately, that potential to blind defenders has gone nowhere for Vianney and they're actually wasted as Cosmic Ape makes a complete rotate to another hatch over here in blue. Is going to play better off of Ifint, but they are badly hurting, and Strix is just right around the corner. The flashbang will hit the mark on Wamai, but still no one to push directly on that. You really want to pressure along with those flashbangs. It's going to come down to melee here. TDM in this final few seconds of the round. Strix gets the first kill on Cosmic Cape, the second one on Ifint, barely evading that kill. Cardboard does go down Darth Pickle on that re-peek. Once again, Chaminade doing a great job of holding to their guns and letting the fight come to them.
I think it's something that Gugs has really allowed this team to do, because they don't have to have 2-3 players off the site, because Gugs is doing so much of the work. Treasure, he got the spawn peak, the opening kill. He found another one, and even though he did die, I mean, as a roamer, if you can find 2 kills, even if you die within the first 30 seconds, that's huge, especially considering the value of the players that you took out. Vianney clearly could not do anything with that, and now still bringing out the Cali, still bringing out the Ace, very similar lineup that we saw on Gym Bedroom, but they have to attack a site where Cali will get a little bit more of a presence, but I still don't know if it's worth it bringing the Cali.
It is dicey, especially since we've already seen Bandit on the table. Like you mentioned before, that is a rough matchup for Cali. Bandit tricking would just put a wrench in the machine of the hard-breaching team. Runo once again on Kapkan over here, set up some nasty little nail traps for any attackers coming out on this side, which is great for limiting the roam clear, make them have to second guess themselves and sometimes have to peek away from a player that might be hiding around a corner just to make sure that they're safe getting through a doorway.
5 seconds left before insertion. Attackers must
C4 actually prepped underneath, so you're probably going to have a lot of, or is that a second C4 prepped? Chaminade are going, what? Okay,
Whoa, whoa.
I have
I assume you
never
saw what I
seen
saw.
this before. Okay, so they are having
4
everybody play
presets!
Yeah, this is
Based alert.
completely. It is a little bit based. Another one. 5 C4s. This is a unique play. I've never seen something like this before. They are putting so much value into either the black eye cameras or the Mozzie drones that they just completely decide to evacuate the site. And maybe Vianney will take the bait. They haven't got the wall open, and they seem to be coming from the western side over. I just really want to see something like this work, because it's so different.
A remote CCTV hold. I've never seen anything like it. Buck here pushing right in. The cameras are preceding the attackers. That is good information to have. They might think it's Gugs, but that is in fact Strix now on the Mozzie. Oh, just a bit of siege timing right there for Haruno. Okay, but it's a drone anyways, never mind. So taking out that, but does give a little bit more intel to the attackers. They've seen the Kapkan traps. I think they actually saw on drones in prep phase. I think they are aware something's afoot, but Haruno is still going to be picking up the first kill of the round. Cosmic Apes drones aren't going to get them into the building safely. Haruno now backing all the way back into sight. Cash room now solidly held as Gugs also is on B side. I think that first C4 might have gone off. There's a big old hole in the floor, and the attackers shooting out some of these other ones. Not quite getting the mileage that we hoped for, especially as the defenders have had to leave the bottom floor, but Gugs' gun is finding value to getting another kill as the attackers are winnowing away.
And it's not the literal explosive play that we were expecting. All the C4s are gone, didn't get anything with them, but their guns did the work. That's not a real problem, because Chaminade seemed to know that they're in control. Hell, Vianney have 3 kills, Treasure, over 3 rounds so far. 3 players on Chaminade have not died. It's not a great starting round, and it's looking like a flawless one as Cardboard barely misses that leg. They don't die, but right now, it's not the best gun for a 1v5. Everybody knows you don't pick up the AWP. The AK is what you want in Cardboard. Using that fully automatic, they take out Gugs, but they have 4 more players that they have to best. They don't have the diffuser. They could walk into the site and not get blown up from underneath with the C4 as Lover hops into a Claymore. Hamina
Okay.
goes down.
Wait a second.
No, I'm sorry. As cool as that was, with the amount of time, there's no chance that you would be able to win that 1v2. It's a nice effort, but it's still Shaman who come out on top.
Yep, still holding to their guns, maybe getting a little antsier and finding each other for the kills, having that race to find the last one and finish off the round, but no less clean playing, giving us a little bit of some inspiration on that CCTV hold. I can't wait to see that a little bit again in some future matches, quite potentially, because I think that's got a lot of potential.
Jim, bedroom again, bringing out the exact same lineup on the defense. You've got that Maestro now, Azami. They don't seem to be keeping a very stable lineup, but I'm going to be honest, Sergio, they don't really need to. This team looks right now a step above Vianney, and that's a reason why they were previous champions, looking to repeat what they had before. And I think even if they're playing a little bit sillier than usual, as long as they come out on top, they won't really care.
Okay. This is still a... Oh, okay.
What is...
Okay.
What are they doing?
A lineup with some definite intention here, trying to use these Goyle canisters to make some additional angles for the keep-up barriers. The attackers can't anticipate these. I'm not sure the role of 2 Goyo canisters here.
Four.
Okay. I think we've moved to a
Do
little
not
bit of
put the
trolling
black eye on
territory.
that.
Oh my god.
What is happening?
Is it a smiley face or something? I think we're doing. It's a piece of modern art at this point. There is no access except through explosives to get in through that side of site at all. Shamlover is going to open up the first kill with that's a spawn peeking Maestro for those of you counting at home.
I'm just stun locked. Like,
I know.
it's just the fact that we pivot from 3 of the Goyo canisters being destroyed by a Kiva barrier that also had a Maestro cam on it, to the Maestro spawn peeking, taking out a player as Gugs gets another one. I'm surprised Chamlover is still alive, but is this just going to be a series where we're just waiting until the inevitable end? Because there is no room to breathe for Vianney. They can't find a kill onto Shamanad to really get these rounds close, nor can they get themselves close to the site. With utility, it's a double whammy that is just leading to a beatdown right now.
Yeah, it's a testament to the gun skill and the confidence from Chaminade right now, because Vianney, even while they're down 2, they're doing everything to the book. They are doing everything right to get up to the building and into the site right now. Faced with all these strange things, they're up for a surprise right there, but Gug's just roaming around like an absolute demon. Comes for Cardboard. Cardboard having a chance. Oh my god, keeping that roam down, but he's gonna find another one coming down very gone, and it's just Cosmic Ape outside, finding the first kill, making sure not a flawless once again. The second one, as we see that Gugs run out, he's letting some of these kills go by after just running out for everything, but Cosmic Ape still just a couple health points to their name, and there's 3 players, none of them are less aggressive than Gugs still at this rate.
Well, Cosmic Ape is over by Lounge, gonna walk up the rent stairs, slowly make his way towards the site. He's 1 shot away from death. No way to replenish that. He's gonna use that Gemini clone, get a little bit of information. Wow, it actually does fit through there. As right now, just looking through Logi, looking through construction. He does spot the Maestro and only has 20 seconds to make his way towards the site. He actually decides to go out, potentially into construction as he's peeking towards Logi. We're just waiting until the hop-in, until the 1 bullet is sent Cosmic Ape's way. He hops in, fires his entire mag, has to reload, puts the diffuser down. No chance at living. The timer will tick down, but Darth Pickle decides to end it with his weapon.
When Cosmic crouch spam there at the end, just oh, okay, no, not even quite. 5-7, and a dream. That was all that was left for Cosmic Ape. Another round going heavily in the way of Chaminade. That time, I think their veil was starting to part as well, showing off more than they were really in there to compete. A very warranted timeout for Vianney. They're going to have to talk, see what could be some possible solutions here going into the rest of the second site rotation. 4 in a row means that we've ostensibly got CCTV again and basement still on the menu from Chaminade's defense.
Gugs. He kind of built Diffie. Not gonna lie. Like he just can walk around the map, do whatever he wants, and nobody can stop him. Like the highest number of kills is a 3-way tie for 2 kills. He has 2 more kills than the entirety of Vianney treasure.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is 2 of Gug's deaths are basically just running out after a round is already done, just to fiend for a kill, see if they can just get another one to pad the roster just for the fun of it, or pad the KD just for the fun of it. So I wouldn't even really count those 2 deaths because they were not putting any like effort into those fights, just jumping out, just knowing a round's already done on timer alone, if not even just the 2v4 situations that they were staring down. Vianney having a little bit of time right there. Hopefully they can find something to patch this together, but Chaminade is just looking so dominant in this first round. Maybe it's a clubhouse thing. Maybe this is they're just so much more confident on their pick. This is Chaminade's pick, so that doesn't really air outside of the realms of reasonability. And maybe it's a defense clubhouse thing. That's not totally unreasonable either, but right now the gunplay is what's really excelling.
In going on the cafe, you're kind of hoping, if you're a Vianney fan, that Gugs falls off like a cliff with his skill. I don't think that's gonna happen because he's not hitting crazy shots. He's simply walking around the map and finding kills left, right, and center. I think it's a little bit confirmed at this point. Chaminade may not be taking this as seriously. Like, putting 3 Goyo canisters on a Kiva barrier, putting 2 Maestro camps directly next to each other.
We found how much stuff you can put on there before it just starts breaking. They're doing science, I think, is what they're up to at this point.
Is this the time,
ready for the finals.
Treasure?
Honestly, Light Rose, I think it's okay. Like, they won that round. I can't knock it if they win the round. So if we're doing a little science experiment and we're winning, that's a winning strat to me. The attackers here pushing right up into Strip Club where there's 2 defenders pushed all the way up. I don't know if they have some more forefront cameras, but the cameras have been giving a lot of value through earlier rounds. I'm not sure how Gugs is not seeing that drone spotting them, but it is a bait for Hironi to get that kill, and Gugs gets one of their own as well. Keep Barry's going up as well to keep that sight line. Oh, even stronger for themselves. Shamlover finds another one outside with the Alda. 2 players left, and we're just a minute into the round once again.
It's not fair. This isn't fair to watch. It's just brutal. It's a blood sport. At this point, no chance to react. Gugs is probably going to hop out the wall. He gets the kill. What more can I say?
We're speedrunning these rounds.
About them? Literally.
At this point, I feel like Chaminade is competing to see how few rooms they can allow Vianney to touch inside the building before the round is over. Unfortunately, that timeout is not getting what Vianney needed. I don't think any bit of information you could exchange in that amount of time is really going to do it right now. I think this is a faded half, maybe even a faded map, because I can't see a way that we're not sailing head on into a 6-0 half at this point.
At 6-0, no, there's no way that Vianney would be able to win basement with how things have been going. Maybe they'll survive the Swan Peak. Maybe they'll survive 30 to 45 seconds into the round. I'm not hedging my bets, because Chaminade are just doing whatever they want to do at this rate. And that includes peeking every single door known to man. So Vianney, I mean, rush? Dirt? Maybe? Do something different than a very default take, because that's not going to work.
Yeah, no, you definitely got it. When playing to the books is just not working here. I like that call, a dirt rush. That might be something to shake things up. But at this point, if I'm Vianney, I would be surprised if we rush into dirt and Chaminade is all 5 in there already with traps galore. Because this is the pace things have been moving at. Is this going to be a 4-trap door? Yeah,
Of course it is. Of course. It's 5, Treasure.
Is there one on the other side?
underestimate.
Let me see it.
No, there is 5 on one side.
Beautiful,
pretty sure.
Beautiful. That'll kill an elephant, honestly.
Put Rook with a stem, like an old dock stem,
Yeah.
and have him run through that. He would get blown up in mere seconds.
All right, yeah, moving fast right off the bat. Strip Club was dangerous last round. So for Waxies, this is a pretty big sticking point to get in there fast, check the corners. There's no one there this time, but you gotta be careful. Drones up ahead, checking this next room. Yeah, using a little bit of a peek hole, moving like a spy, making sure to get as much intel to work with on this solo flank as they can. It's not going to be guaranteed to find anyone. It's really hard to drone out everything on your own, but luckily, we know for them that it's going to be safe. Cardboard opening up blue hatch. Trade going out outside. Waxies has closed in with their teammate as well. Takes down Gugs. And for the first time, Vianney is ahead on player count in the opening minute.
Vianney, maybe this is their chance. Waxies just equipping the drone, equipping the skeleton key shotgun, trying to help his team in any way possible. And Haruna does not get droned so far. It seems that there really isn't anybody that is aware of their position, but just a little bit too late, and now forced to either run outside or try to take a Vianney attacker with them. A flashbang goes through, and Cardboard does take damage, actually flashing themselves in the process, and with 15 bullets of the Scorpion, unfortunately the Bearing 9 just kicks a little bit too hard.
Oh my God.
A nice peek. Waxis is on the floor, and Diffuser firmly in the pockets of Chaminade. Despite the fact Vianney does have control of the site, that is nothing without the entire point of the objective, the Diffusers. Fairy Godmommy does eventually fall, leading us to a 1v1, the closest round we have had so far between Vianney and Chaminade.
Cooking the nade. Probably just looking to finish off Darth Pickle on the ground. Oh yeah, we realized that we are getting spotted on the cams. That's going to be pretty important. Pickles here, make for an easy finish right there, making sure there's no X Factor, and blotting out the security camera down below. It might be opening up, though, in order to get these red pings going. Frag grenade goes out. Haruno knows that's another one off the board. But with 20 seconds, you're blazing time away. You have to get upstairs. You have to pick up that diffuser. There's no other way. IFN is just not playing to their win con right now. It's getting the head or getting that diffuser down. Diffuser's out of its time now. Has to be the head, and IFN is just running away. Yellow ping is going out to give a little bit of information, and the bullet trails give away. Drop into the floor, though. There goes the half. Perfect 6-0 for Chaminade.
Is it gonna be a 7-0? They look like they're wanting to keep the momentum, but that was the best we've seen from Vianney, or at least the closest round between these two teams. So maybe this will inspire Vianney to get something done. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't really have much faith in them because of how dominant Chaminade have looked. And heading over to CCTV Cache, Vianney are going to bring that Azami for Raptors with a lot of wall denial, utility denial, plant denial. As Chaminade, they seem to be gearing up for a smoke plant with a blitz to maybe pressure back some of those anchors that are on the site.
Whew, I think this is going to be, the classic open up the wall and smoke everything, plant in there with the shields. It's going to be a pretty chaotic start here. I think Chaminade is letting this one basically ride as a rush just to go through here. They're so confident riding off that 6-0. We saw it in the last 3 rounds, honestly. So, nothing surprised me here. It might be Sham Lover, maybe playing a little bit like more to book coming up through Garage. That way they have some side pressure. It's a really strong position for Montaigne to take anyways, coming up right here where we are watching currently, because there's not really anything characters can do, and it removes these Kiba barriers from up top that Griffins is going to be setting up here. You can't play behind them if there's an angry man with a shield bearing down on you. The sniper's going to be covering our CC wall as soon as it gets opened up. That should be the pace that we're seeing to go here. It should be pretty fast as well with these first 15 seconds going by. Garage is already breached. The shields are pushing up. It's the Blitz coming through here. Darth Pickle as opposed to Sham Lover. We'll see where they end up.
And Darth Pickle, he's got to be aware that his lower half can be shot, but Strix times out Ifend for potentially the rest of the lobby as Gug spot the yellow outline. The smoke is gone. And Cosmic Ape and Fairy God Mommy remains as the only two barriers between a potential perfect game. One in sight, one below, and Cosmic Ape, he gets the melee kill onto Darth Pickle, but is that enough to spur the comeback? Chamlover halfway through putting down the diffuser, but no chance for Cosmic Ape to react. And now, the 1v4, 40 seconds to work through the site, take out a Glass, take out a Monty, and a lot of utility to work through. Gug takes a little bit of damage, don't exactly know where, but this Monty, he's really locked off the door. At this point, there is literally nothing Vianney can do because Gem Lover will not let them go through that door. The window is going to be broken, but right back to the door. There's just going to be a little bit of a firefight between three of the players. Haruno takes some damage from where? Oh, no. Might as well just kill your own teammate. What a map treasure.
Insane plays from Shamana all the way through. They took it just the book. They were playing so clean through the first 3 rounds, and eventually they just said, clearly someone said it in those voice comms, I think we can just play for fun on this one, and they did, showing a masterclass. This is what champions are capable of. This is a great, absolutely electrifying start to our first round of your HSC. Of course, there is that double elimination opportunity for them later on down the road this week if they do lose this, but this is a match point. If they lose this map, their map pick, then they will have to be fighting for their lives every single match they get from here on. So if they can find something in the gas tank, some way of circumventing that dominance that Shamanov showed us on Clubhouse, they have to bring it immediately from this round 1.
That was my exact thought. Round 1, I think, should tell us the entire story of what's going to happen if Shamanov plays similar. The result is similar. We're going to see a similar result. So far, the bans are looking pretty similar. It's a Jackal ban instead of a Thatcher, and replacing that Kayit ban is a Valkyrie ban. Nothing too crazy coming out, but a Shamanad, they end up with that last ban. They tried the Pulse last time. That was the most unusual ban out of the stack, and as the timer ticks down, it's a Pulse ban again, which does make a little bit more sense on this map.
Definitely going to be more relevant here, a lot more vertical play. This is a 3-floor map with nearly all soft floors, just about all around for most of these pivotal locations that players are going to be hanging out in, except for like in train room where we got some steel plating down the floor. Make sure that we're supporting that train, make sure it doesn't fall through the floor like players could be through the hatches. We see Oryx looking to do just that, able to get himself around the map quite a bit, hopping up and down through those, and really making a scary presence for himself. Shamanad had a crazy defense presence in map 1, and they get to start there on that defensive side again here on the enemy territory. They're going up to the top floor for this cafe hold.
Attackers need to locate.
It's funny enough, the 3rd floor, I've seen teams actually start to avoid the top floor. Like, that sounds crazy, but teams will go to the other sides, like mining, reading, and kitchen, because we've seen bar so much. You can attack this site all in a pretty similar way. You take out Cigar, you clear out some modicum of Cocktail, and then you plant by Shaiko. And the round simply plays out the way that it should, as unfortunately the second Kiva is about as useful as the first, and that is to say, not effective at all as Gugs decides to, they are realizing the ramifications of the utility that they just unfortunately wasted. A shame, but that is the folly of a zombie sometimes.
Yeah, it's a little bit inconsistent at times, but they do have more in the way of bulletproof line of sight reduction in that castle that we're seeing setting up right now. Shamlover will be able to keep a couple of those sight lines restricted, and with no sledge on the attacker lineup, those will actually prove to be a utility sink. Oh, for them as well, Strix! No! The Rhino taking off Guggs' head. Guggs, extremely powerful player throughout all of the last map. Yeah, okay, that was a hole that he was looking to open up in order to watch over the next room over. Already, Vianney is at an advantage. We'll see what they can do with it.
Bruh. Yeah, that's the only way to describe that. Hey, Strix does get the opener. So, I mean, they have avenged themselves at some level. It's still a disadvantage because Shamlover was immediately refragged. And I think, Vianney, you gotta win this. Like, come on. You started with a 4v5 advantage. They took out their own best player. What more do you need besides everything that I just listed?
Yeah, well, having Shamlover off is a nice start here as well. I think some utility died in pocket as well. I didn't quite catch it before it was gone. And a lot of intel has already gone out for Vianney. They're doing a great job of droning. Ooh, oh. Yeah, I think you might have seen a gun poke out through that angle for just a moment. Watching these pixels, this is the same hole that we saw at the beginning. A lot of damage going down through cardboard, but they get out. Totally abandoning that angle, though. Someone else is going to have to push it at some point, but they're burning through some of this defensive utility right ahead of a drone. So as soon as that drone sees someone, the call is going to come out and Cardboard's going to be able to peek it. This is your hard breacher, though. You don't want to be losing this player so early, especially if you can still be opening up sights, getting some good sight lines. Fairy Godmom picking up a nice one there on that wide swing from Darth Pickle. Strix has to back off at this point. There's a lot of pressure coming into A site, and that plank drone has to be removed.
Real. Speeding with the orcs, he's gonna try to get in position as soon as possible. Strix does see the Gemini and does take the head off of Waxis. What a play it would be, starting off with a team kill, but ending with a potential 1v5 ace. Yeah, no. Running into the track stingers does not help in the slightest, because Cardboard does get that final kill. So, Vianney, they actually win the round after given the unfortunate advantage that Shamanad gave them. So, as we move on to that second round, third floor, you would expect that maybe this will go better now that they will have the player that got them a lot of rounds in the previous map, Guggs. Hopefully he'll stay alive.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a totally different pace in this first one, assuming that we don't somehow, against the odds, end up with another Guggs team kill to start things off with, or anything else along those lines. There'll be very different cadence, even though it's the same objective being held at this point, but that's what Vianney needed. We talked about them having this onus on them. They have to come in here blazing through this round one. They have to play clean, they have to play smart, and they have to just be able to outshoot Shamanad when they have advantage, something that wasn't happening throughout map one. And I don't know, like, unfortunately that's one strategically I can't do a lot for you. It's like, we gotta click heads better, which I know no one wants to
You gotta place 5 Capcan traps on a single door.
We are doing that again.
We are doing that again!
It's amazing, amazing. We'll see what that nets for Darth Pickle. But Vianney comes out here, they're playing clean. They did exactly what they needed to, and with the advantages that they ended up with, they got this win, first round win in the series, and maybe that's a momentum swap that gets them back into the game, because we're already guaranteeing we don't have a repeat of last map. No flawless 7-0s here.
That still could be pretty brutal. I mean, the 7-1, it isn't a 7-0, but that is still here. Guggs is still alive. I think it's one of like the only rounds where he hasn't gotten a kill this entire series, and it's because he got gunned down by his own teammate, Strix.
There's a one tap too. That's the extra amazing thing.
That's brutal.
You were just staring at their head through the wall with the rhino in hand. It's so amazing.
Clearing out the first floor, and then probably moving their way up. That's what we see teams do instead of working their way from Red Hatch and then upwards. It's kind of the reverse. You don't usually see that as often, but clearly Vianney, they had something in the last round that got them the round win, the only round win they've gotten so far this entire series, and I think repeating that, it won't hurt you. because success definitely does like to be repeated multiple times. The attack does start to head up the red stairs. There's actually nobody roaming on the second floor, so if Vianney truly want, they can focus their efforts on the site, and I think that might be the best course of action.
Yeah, I really like that. And Cosmic Ape has practically guaranteed that information for the attackers with that roam all the way across second floor using the Gemini drone to just cover so much ground. I love to use these Kiba berries to make this really great extension off of Shaco hold. There is a player dropped already. Fairy Godmommy. Ooh, getting a lot of damage on Darth Pickle. We see the feet, too, if they try to peek up once again like that. But it's really hard to move in from these hatches. I notice Cardboard, our Hibana, is on the rooftop. It's going to be hard to rotate in and get utility usage off of that player. So we'll see how fast the rotation has to come in. Gugs gets the first kill for the defenders, taking down Cardboard here. And Cosmic Ape finds... Ooh, yes, a refrag. And Fairy Godmommy actually taking down Gugs themselves. 2 players left on the defense. They're going to be having to play careful back here inside. The freezer is Cham Lover's Solstice for, or not Solstice, but the where he's gonna stay alive here for just a moment. Watching the angle onto Christmas, but no one's coming there, so it's gonna end up just being a distraction for them.
All 5 Capcan traps displaced. Yeah, it is definitely nice to see all of them get blown up at once. iFit is going to push up towards the default plant spot as well with a lot of proximities. It's going to announce the entrance of Waxes, who deals some damage to Cham Lover, almost lethal, and a trade does happen. Leaves Strix in that 1v3, 1v2 right now, as it's the second round one for Vianney. Either the third floor is not where Shamanon really feels strong, or this is a different map that we are seeing from Vianney.
Yeah, I mean, everything is just feeling totally different here, but we're still seeing some of that quirky silliness from Shamanad. That 5 stack of Capcans, it really gives you nothing. That's a waste of a gadget from the operator. I understand taking the character because you like the gun. It's reasonable. It's a really nice SMG to be able to bring out into the battlefield. But if we're going to be taking the time to be placing the traps, if we're taking this seriously, that's got to stop here. We'll see if Shamanad have what it takes to shift the gears, put this in reverse, and totally change things up, because that mental reset can be really hard for teams, especially, this is a younger team, so this may play a factor. I don't want to, like, play that on them like that, but it is hard for a team at any level to, once you've started kind of, like, trolling a little bit, if I would say so, it's hard to pump the brakes and turn it back and get all the way serious, because you have these like pre-match rituals. You get in there, you get your team pumped up, you go, okay, whatever's in there, we have to play well, and then you go, okay, we can play lax, and you kind of loosen up. It's hard to do that without the time that you put into your pre-match rituals, all your warm-up matches beforehand. You won't have that. You're still in the thick of it, so you have to do a complete mental reset then. It's a lot harder.
We're bringing out the Cali again. Bringing out the glass too.
No way.
Oh, I've made my piece known about Callie. I think she could get some value, especially with the Mira. Like, she is a very big counter to Mira, and with no mute, no bandit, anything like that, both of those Blackbears can be shut down as Cham Lover gets taken down very early on, and it seems like maybe even sticking to the serious may not be a big thing that will help Shamanon. As Gugs on the Tachanka tries to push up, you might encounter the player that actually got that first kill. Ifint on the glass takes them out, and now looking for more, could potentially hop out, as Waxus does take a little bit of damage from the players inside of the site. It's Shamanon's first real advantage that they've gotten after the first entry trades that we've seen in a lot of these early rounds, but it might not last long, as Gugs is fallen, is not taken out, but Darth Pilk will make sure that their lead for sure stays.
Yep, and that secures the resurrection as well. Able to get around the corner, but Strix trading their life out for their teammate. But Gugs makes good on it, finding the refrag. We're staying even all the way through. Waxy's now the only player left, and this one has not yet made it in the building. Trying to just watch the flank for teammates, and now suddenly on the forefront of the assault and alone to boot. Strix, that player that was basically holding up the defense in the last last seconds of the round, the dead ringer for Shamanad, actually making a lot of entry impact on this round, so nice stuff to see from them, and playing really well to make sure that Gugs is able to stay in. Gugs actually at this point is a much higher impact character, even if low on health, because the Shumika launchers can just cut off whole levels for entry, and there's only like 3 of them right now because there's been so little hard breaching that's been able to happen on account of Vianney not getting too far into the building. And the gunplay can't go unspoken for either.
Yeah, no, Gugs.
Wow.
It's good. Like,
what a peek. That's like a 90-degree flick into a double corner hold right there. That's like a tight angle.
yeah, I think we've gassed up Gugs so much that it's like, oh, we don't really need to talk about how Gugs is, but it feels like not mentioning how much of an impact that they're having in a lot of these engagements just is ignoring a big part of why Shamanad is doing so well, but we've talked about it so much, it's a catch-22. Gugs, I'll make it known now, I probably will say this later in broadcast, you're a good shooter. You shoot the bullets good.
It'll probably come up. Alright, yeah, taking the Tachanka again. It's an interesting choice for roaming on account of you're slow, you're loud, your gun has a really slow ADS, especially if you're taking the LMG, and it doesn't have like these extended sights for longer range holds. I think it's just for what's comfortable at this point, though, just as Darth Pickle has kind of been playing Kapkan just for the 9x19. And that's still the pace that the defense is setting, so I don't know if it was a totally different
10 seconds left before insertion.
intention that they were bringing to round 3 than they were in the first 2. This time it ends up just paying off for them, though. I think this will really be the round that, at least for me, cements how I think Shamanad is looking at approaching these next few rounds.
No Callie in this round. They're swapping up a lot, bringing the Maru, bringing the Nook that you might see on a lot of these entries with how big Cafe can be, and a lot of stairs that can actually put you towards those mid to top floors. But the Fuse is a pick that may have a bigger impact. We're seeing another 5 trap door. They're still not being fully serious. I think we definitely had to, because Darth Pickle, as long as he's putting 5 Kapkan traps on a single door, their silly meter will still be above 0%.
The silly meter. Yeah, can we get that added to the broadcast? Actually, just have a little meter. We can adjust it as things go each round. See what exactly is happening. There's no way. What? Cosmic Cape just barely lucking out, not getting touched by the fire at all. I think will not be quite as lucky, but not a significant amount, just about 10 damage throughout that. A nice pickup on that pre-play C4 from Haruno below. That's a big start for the defense.
Oh, beautiful shot by Strix. They've stepped it up a little bit in this match. Fortunately, can't find more on that top floor. A good turnaround from Waxis. His Jam Lover is not long for this earth. You can say the same for Cardboard and Gugs, as the trade does happen. And with the cameras getting hacked, Vianney, they've got some information they can rely on. They've got 1 minute and 30 seconds, along with some calls and some track stingers that can be deployed. I doubt we're going to see a flank this late with how valuable the players on the site will be, but maybe Darth Pickle and Haruno, they want to take a gamble. We'll have to see. The 5 Kapkan trapped is marveled at by Waxus before he continues on. Does spot the player inside of the site, and now the execution, it's not going to happen, but it has to be just a little bit away, with Waxus now going onto that second floor.
All right, yeah, location given away by that wall of explosives. Waxy's finds the 3rd one on the round against Dark Pickles. Haruno pinned in this corner. Only thing to use is this bulletproof window. Seeing some pings on the other side of 90. They move around. There's a lot of bullet holes as well. Seeing the edge of gridlock. It's not enough. Fairy Godmommy finds another kill on this round and closes out the 3rd one in this half for Vianney.
All right, so it's not the round change. It is not where the site is. It is just that Shamanad is different on Cafe. They're not the same confident team, and a lot of that could be that Cafe is a lot more vertical. They are going to see these teams go from above you, look down, and so far Shamanad haven't done the best at reacting to when their roamers are taken out, which also the roamers aren't being as dominant as they were. They may still find 2 to maybe 3 kills, but what Vianney have done wonderful is they found refrags for almost every single one. We've only really seen one round where Shamanad have taken a definitive man count lead, and that was the only round that they've won so far out of the 4.
Honestly, I think that's the real key, is that Vianney is able to play together a lot more effectively on attacks on this site so far, and those refrags allow them to get to that middle phase of the round, and especially that late phase of the round where they're actually able to maneuver their smart gameplay a lot better into fight wins, into kills, and eventual round wins. But any of those rounds that we were seeing earlier where Clubhouse, we saw Shamanad just kind of pubbing it up, running around corners, jumping out windows, checking windows with Aldas and such. It's not as easy to do on this map, and I guess, I don't know, there's a lot of windows you can be looking for spawn peaks here, but they aren't doing the same, and they don't have the same confidence for some of these peaks from Shamanad, so we're seeing fewer early double or nothing kinds of kills. These are all just traits back and forth, and those favor Vianney. We see them getting much more solid rounds, more comfortable, even when they do lose, as long as they're able to keep an even number of players throughout the round.
Thinking about the adaptations that Shamanad need to have to win this round, my first thought goes to holding Pixel a little bit better, and the fact that there's not a shield there, it doesn't inspire confidence in me, but I think with Chamlover playing so close, maybe they're just wanting to get the jump on this team, but they already have a player on the first floor, and looking towards Train and that red hallway, a lot of eyes on the roamers that have had so much say in that first map. So instead of holding the Pixel area, they're just going to push by Piano fully into Cigar. It is a little bit of a risk, but Gugs knows that sometimes aggression is the best medicine to deal when you don't really have the answers. But as Darth Pickle falls and no refrag is around the corner just yet, Vianney could claim yet another round on the top floor.
Rose, why has Waxy's not been handed the EBR before? This is amazing. So consistently opening up kills on DeKB. She wasn't banned last round either, finding crazy value for the team. Gugs gets that kill from around the corner, flanking on a feint. They have neglected Christmas Room at this point. Haruna finds that save back in the round. The kill going out once again for Gugs on the pistol on his re-peek. It's a 2v2 or 2v3. Sorry, I'm missing Gugs there up on the top end. Cosmic Ape, Cardboard have to redeploy to get around here, pushing on that Pixel angle that you were talking about before. Cardboard's taking a lot of damage, not just from electrification, but also from the gun behind them. Cosmic Ape coming up right in behind, and there's gonna be a nasty flank coming from Gugs. If this is hurt, it could be pivotal and bring this up to an even count.
Oh, but he's not ADSing. A little surprising, but I mean, the refrags have been a lot of the story. Or when Vianney's been able to win, when Chaminade's been able to win, bit for bit, blow for blow, is a great storyteller of who is going to come out on top, and Cardboard gets dumpstered as he walks into the cigar shop door. Yeah, just one little tap from CCSG puts the player down and keeps Chaminade relatively within arm's reach of Vianney and guarantees them at least a 4-2 split.
Yeah, it's given us a much more competitive series that we're going to see here. There's a couple really interesting points in that round to me. One of them was stacking players on New Hatch. That had me, or Red Hatch, had me really worried because Chaminade has consistently bringing not just a lot of C4s, but sometimes copious numbers of C4s, like we saw that 5 nitro cell round on last map. This one was a 3 nitro round, and they're very common on that objective anyways. We know that New Hatch is a very common pre-play C4 spot, and I think there were 2 pre-play C4s in that round as well, so it is a wonder that we didn't see a 3K explosion through there. I was so scared about seeing that, and it turned out the real impact on that side was that no one, or the flank just stopped getting watched by the attack. It allowed Gugs to swing out on Pixel and hide out in Christmas and find a kill from behind, and that's what stopped the attack. Vianney was looking so good until that Gugs roam and flank.
Rook is being brought out for the first time. You know the reason why Chaminade is not winning a lot of the times is because they're not running 5 C4s and
okay,
going
not enough
underneath.
C4s.
Yeah, they don't have enough C4s. Gugs is trying a very different strategy. I've seen this before on talking about content creators, but this is new in a little bit more competitive Siege. He's just holding a pixely angle, trying to see if he could just thread the needle perfectly. He does have great vision of the actual door, but it's a very easy angle where he himself can be shot if he doesn't have quick enough reflexes.
Yeah, pretty much a 50-50 right there. Whoa, whoa. Event is pushed in really far up here in Coat Closet, pushing directly into, I think that's Darth Pickle as well. Well, with intel as well to boot. So Explosive's going to have to go out to get that castle barricade. That is alerting Haruno, who's going to be whipping around at that angle, but stuck in the closet now. I'm not sure if they fully know that they're going to be pinned in just a second as soon as Gridlock jumps in. I think if Fairy God, yeah, is on that angle and off of cams, then there's no way for Haruno to get out without this being a really pivotal or really leveraged gunfight away from them. A couple of defenders are moving up to try and get them out. Darth Pickle goes down, and yeah, Haruno finished off by a feint there. Gugs, though, is going to be swinging out and taking off that other angle of the attack. Fairy Godmommy pushed off the board. Gugs swings yet again. This one's not going to go in his favor, though, and it's a 2v3 again, but opposite direction of last round.
The 1v3 that we've seen so many players in, none of them have been able to really compete the impossible. A couple slugs takes out Ifint, and now with the health that both of these players are on, I think one slug each could potentially put them down. Maybe Cosmic Ape will take two, but just a little bit too slow. And now putting down the diffusers, the coverage there. The slugs are there to make it a 1v1. And Cardboard either has to get the headshot or has to be on those quick reflexes back and forth. And Cham Lover gets that 1v3 that I talked about hadn't been done before. And that's all it took. Couple of slugs and a couple of kills give Shaman on the 3v3.
Yeah, Sham Lover looking amazing there, ending 2 rounds with clutches as well on the shotgun. I guess the last one wasn't as much of a clutch, but the 3v1 clutch with all TCSG, that is beautiful to see. I think we need to see a lot more semi-automatic fire in this lobby between them and Waxies, because that's some nice shooting with the big high caliber guns.
I mean, it's kind of a high risk, high reward thing. Like, you have a high amount of damage, but the recoil can be a lot, and we saw that when they were trying to take out, I believe it was Cardboard. And if you hit your shots, you can be rewarded with a bountiful round win. A Shaman, they get to go on the attack. I think this was definitely where they had a little bit of dominance. They bring out the Blitz, they bring out the Amaru, and they could bring out surprise factors that Vianney will not expect. We'll have to see if that tends to rear its head, as so far they're having like a real push, but also having the Blitz Amaru that usually doesn't indicate a serious push.
Yeah, as far as the silliness meter goes, if we're revisiting that concept, yellow and orange are typically those character icons that can indicate something a little funny might be coming up. Stuff like Glaz in red, Fuse in red, Ying in orange, Lion in yellow, and Blitz. These harken back to some classic metas that are even referred to as this, the yellow meta. When Lion was absolutely broken, it could allow you to just Ying, Flash, and Blitz rush into sight when the enemies are pinned down by the Lion until E1 pinging out everyone's exact location. Not like that anymore, but it will give us this general location, which is giving away Cosmic Ape right now and going to cost them their life. You can't be moving around on those, especially with the Amaru on the board. Gugs on 2 kills, already taking out Pixel. Such a pivotal spot to be opening up. Waxy gets one to shut down Haruno and try and even these odds. Up on the rooftop, Darth Pickle is ready to flash any defenders in there, and Gugs finds a third one. Shut down on the stairs.
And great double peek from Vianney. They make it a 2v2, but Trix can fully shut down the top floor, and he finds the kill onto Waxus, but then he gets blinded by his own teammate. That may send them into the grave as Darth Pickle. He's got that ACOG that you barely see anymore. He could get a great pinch with Trix if that's what they want, but instead Waxus is going to find something. Does he have the time to stim? He actually decides not to, pulls out the bailiff, and that will be his end. It's a 1v2. Vianney does have the health advantage, but Shamanade have sight, they have diffuser, and they have smokes. Treasure. Diffuser is starting to get put down for Darth Pickle. He's halfway there. He's just trying to fire some shots. He's able to work through that woodwork, reload, and now re-peek, having the pinks to help him. And a great play by Ivan, using the information. Give it to him. He's going to give his team the lead back.
Beautiful steal back of the round. I love, we could see that communication in real time with the yellow pings. I don't know what's going on with those two Shamanad plays. There wasn't a single shot fired back, near as I could tell. At this, they were just left to take that P90 fire from a range, not doing too much damage, especially through wall bangs. Eventually, it's gonna add up a huge 2K to clutch that one up, especially after Shamanad started that one off in a terrifying manner. I'm so happy that we got to see that Amaru, harpoon, what do you call it, grappling hook? There we go. I think that's my favorite round actually of the series so far.
No, it was very enjoyable, definitely, to see Gug zip in behind Cosmic Ape and just unload a bunch of bullets into them. It's something you very rarely see with the Amaru, because the surprise jump-in factor isn't exactly a thing, because you're going to be able to hear the very slight zip, and Cosmic Ape, either they were just committed to the reinforcement, maybe we're slacking off a little bit mentally, but it, well, like I said, it's still very funny as we're swapping off the Blitz, hopping onto the Lion, as Waxus is actually back onto the Warden to try to counter something like a Ying or something like smoke grenades that actually aren't in play here. But a lot of utility-heavy, anchor-style play from Vianney with the Maestro cameras, with the Kaid claws, the deployable shields that are in play. It seems like they really want to keep themselves on site. But as Gugs has the Mossberg on Sledge, you will never really see that now that the SMG-11 is gone. He is gone roam hunting like a hunter with a shotgun designed to take down Gugs. Not ducks, Gugs. He is going to work his way through that second floor.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he took a lot of damage on wall bangs there. That's not going to help, especially with these instant peak kind of fights that he's got to be taking. He might be taking a couple hits as he comes around the corner before he lands that pivotal shotgun shot. He has found his final destination, though. Some of that soft flooring above sight, trying to open up a way to, open up the wall down below if ever they need to rotate onto Bakery side. Lover finding a nice kill at long range against Cardboard, who just couldn't find the head fast enough. The LMG having a lot more damage output than the 9mm SMG at that kind of range. Sledge just continuing to do that groundwork, opening up all of the ceilings on site.
I swear he opened up the floor directly above two players inside of freezer.
They didn't move.
They
I was
did
also
not
thinking
move.
that.
I was like, hey, how did Gugs not get anything there? How does he die from that? Alright, that's a 4v4. The wall is going to get open, and Ivan is going to be able to escape through that window as the coverage is there for Vianney. They have the cameras, they have the ADSs to make sure that anything that flies through that freezer is caught, whether it's in 4K or by those ADSs. And Strix over by Coach Shen. He could encounter that player, that Cosmic Ape inside of the freezer as Ivan gets the second kill of the round. Wax is so close to making it a 4v2, but instead, Vianney still only have a one-man count lead that is evened to a 3v3. The ADSs, they're still there. The cameras are still there as Haruno barely misses the shots. Flashbangs roll on through. Red pings might help them here, and the flashbangs get the work done. It's a 2v2 triple kill for Fint. They get some tracers right around them, but they do not even flinch. Treasure.
No way they get that third kill after all those flashbangs coming in. Every single player on this board has been locked in a tense gunfight for the last minute and a half. There's 20 seconds left now on the clock. Shamanad have to start moving. Impact Grenade just trying to take some health off of Strix. Successful in doing so. They're just about a one shot even for a P10. Roni coming around. Oh, Waxy's does find this kill. It's down to just Strix on such a low amount of HP. Waxy's finds that double kill to finish things out. Defense keeping it up, and Vianney showing that they might have what it takes to take this one out there. Tenacious, ahead once again in this map.
It's no Shaman Ion Clubhouse, but it is still a very impressive showing from them. Waxus has definitely stepped up. Whether it was on the attack, the Warden that they were just on, finding those two final kills, adding to their KD, there is a different special sauce to this team. And Gugs, even though they haven't missed a step, because Waxus is still there, because Vianney is able to fire back, their kills aren't having as much impact because the refrags are there. We talked about it early on. I think it still is worth mentioning because it can be a great way to keep your team in it. Vianney, they've been able to go kill for kill, and a lot of times they'll end up on top, getting that one little kill advantage early on, whether it's the entry or getting just the let's say a 2v2, getting that opening kill. I think Vianney could definitely finish out on Cafe. I don't know if it'll be on reading, but they have a lot of rounds that they could potentially still win, or at least guarantee overtime. I believe in them.
Yeah, they're looking so confident right now. I mean, like you were saying, Waxy's stepping up here, but clutching up that round right after, like I was praising them on their DKB play on attack side. This is a Waxy showcase that we're seeing this round. Of course, you said Gug still fragging out of their mind, and that is just something that a player at that level is just going to continue doing. Like the gunshots are just going to keep coming out every time you give them fights. But Waxy's doing such a good job playing with their team. I think Vianney legitimately is a better team at playing these long, drawn-out, like brawl for brawl kind of gunfights, because they're consistently coming out of them just a hair ahead, and they're exciting rounds too, because it's 3v3, 2v3, 2v2, 1v1, and another clutch time and time again. And no matter who's winning, it's giving these back-to-back rounds. But coming up here close on that match point potentially for Vianney, as they're starting to hit their stride more and more.
A lot of shields. 3 deployable shields Vianney are deciding to bring. So they're still keeping that anchor type that we see. And now with the Echo, I think you're going to have even more players just sit back, let some of the roamers do the job, like Fairy Godmummy or Waxus at that, who decides to let Shamanade have a taste of their own medicine, ends up getting a kill onto a player with frag grenades and an ability to make an impact with that mid-round. You can see that's where the spawn peak happened, and that's where Haruno will spend the next 3 minutes trying to help his team while not picking up a gun in the slightest.
Yeah, that's really gonna hurt. Over here, Cardboard hears the sound of their traps going off, but it's not enough. Gugs just takes the fight better. Commando in hand, taking that kill. Strix on the other side has been removed. Once again, yep, Cham Lover peeks out just a little too far. They don't know where Waxy's is. They are gonna have to hunt them down, especially this 13-5, spraying every angle, trying to keep that fear of Waxy's in the attack. Darth Pickle and Gugs left all alone. Gugs trucking ahead, looking for this next kill on the staircase, as not even the top floor has been cleared by the time they're down to 2.
There's one player, though, that can do something like this with a shot like that onto Waxus, not even flinching, getting that kill. All they have to do is work with Fairy Godmummy. There's a small hole in the wall inside of Freezer that nobody's actually going to end up using. If Shamanade peek through there, that's a free kill waiting for them, but they don't. They go over towards that bathroom. A smoke canister is used, pushing Darth Pickle actually off of that area, and bullets are going to spray through the wall. And now, could this be the chance to change things around? It is a 2v1. Gugs on a triple kill. They just have to make sure that the smoke and smoke canisters don't have any single say in this round. Rotating over towards Fireplace. He's got his gun trained towards the white stairs. He's got coverage of yokais. He still has those ADSs that can protect them from anything that comes their way. So Ifen, slowly, carefully, hearing the small steps right above them, right in front of them, that could help them at all clutch out this round and put Vianney on map point. But the pings, you hear them, Treasure, whether it's the Z pings, the red pings, it's helping Ifen slowly but surely make his way towards victory. Darth Pickle, he's halfway done putting down the diffuser. The coverage from Gugs is there, and he ends the round with a 4K. I said if there's one player that you wanted, it would be Gugs, and I think I was right.
absolutely 4K. Another crazy dominated round. I was thinking that those cameras were going to be immensely helpful for Vianney. They were giving great calls too throughout the round, especially now that we had a round, I think one of the first in this map without a Decapi being up and able to really mitigate those and take them away entirely for the defense. But the Gugs difference just changes things, turns everything topsy-turvy. 4K on the run doesn't really need information to kill anyone either. Just like, I don't know, you had a fight like over on that side of the map. Let me get some vision. Maybe a breaching charge? Yeah, that would be perfect. Instant headshot. That's the power of angled grip right there.
I mean, I don't even think it matters. Like, he was just so quick on it that you can't even react to it. It's something innate, something different in him. He's 16-7. I think that was a round where he was able to overtake Waxus, because those two have kind of been.
I think he was ahead of the last on the timeout. Just by, like,
maybe
1 or 2.
Yeah, they've both been chomping at the bit to kind of out-duel each other, but I think Vianney being 1 round ahead is more important for Waxus. His team is 1 map away from getting eliminated from the playoffs, so as long as his team comes out on top, I really don't think Waxus cares about this little duel that him and Gugs have.
Yeah, absolutely, but they have to keep playing towards that fragging potential that they have. They want to keep bringing that value because it is undeniable value to be just taking these duels and constantly winning them against just about everyone on Shamanade, just about any situation this map. So the dock choice, making sure that you're always going to have Waxies until someone lands that faded headshot, but making sure to stay as healthy and take as many fights as possible at this point. It's got to be good fights, though. We're hoping that the Solus is going to be able to provide good intel along with Cosmic Apes Mozzie to make sure that you're always getting your plays where they need to be and getting these refrags quickly, because that is the key for Vianney. We've definitely decided on that.
But the player inside of Cigar Shop, that is Waxus. He has been able to get a lot of entries for this team, and he seems to be the barrier of entry, at least by Cigar Shop. If the players do want to drop Red Hatch, a drone will signal that for the time being, there is a player over here. And you can see that with Shaman not really wanting to take the plunge, the drone is not shot out, and Waxus decides to back off, not really risking a lot, going for the double peek. Is playing a dangerous game, Treasure. He finally makes himself fully safe back inside a freezer. He's spotted, so Cigar Shop should be clear for the taking. And Cigar now is actually taken by the player of Gugs, who does seem to be rotating towards that now clear Cigar Shop.
Yep, now knowing that there's only someone in freezer, they're happy to take so much orange space right here. Wax is having to take these peeks, these gunfights, in order to stop the spread of orange across the map. And Gugs taken down right there. Waxies wins the duel this time. That's a huge start for their team. Location is going to be known, though, and there's soft walls right by him. Fairy God might be going down to Strix. Down below, Diffuser picked right back up for the attackers. Darth Pickle is hunting on this wide peak. They don't have a lot of intel on the other side of sight to work off of, though. So Shaman needs some more to work with. Waxy's making a foolish, oh no, rotate right there. Strix makes another one, sees the head for just an instant, goes for it, but he's going to be crossing a dangerous angle while Haruno takes down Cardboard. It's only Ivan down here below to have this playback potential. Explosives out of the pocket, so vertical plays so much harder without an impact. There's the head of it's not quick enough.
Oh, Strix, a beauty of a play in that round. So quick and so efficient as Shamanide. They get the tie game, and Vianney are not yet reaching overtime. A 7-5 Shamanide victory is still potentially in play. It wouldn't be too surprising, considering the fact that they have been able to go on a little bit of a streak, and that has been off of a lot of individual plays. But Vianney have also relied on Waxus. So it seems to be the story of the 3 players in the lobby right now, of Waxus, Gugs, and Strix. Whoever shows up and does their duty in that round usually ends up taking it. But as we're all tied up, who will it be?
There's nearly no such thing as momentum in this map so far. Only 2 rounds of the 10 that we have clocked so far have been not in these two round long streaks. Vianney wins 2, Chaminade wins 2, trades back and forth. 2-2-2. We just got 2 rounds in a row for Chaminade as they even this one up. We've got 2 more rounds in the half, potentially, as long as nothing... Well, I guess we got 2 more guaranteed either way in this half, no matter who wins them. See if we go to overtime or not. And we'll see if someone can string together those pivotal 2 in a row that it would take to win the map and potentially the series if you're Chaminade.
Lion scans going on pretty early. You might see that just to stop any roamers, stop any potential spawn peeks or spawn rushes that might happen. As Cardboard and Cosmic Ape over here, they seem to be trying to prep the C4. You saw that little up head motion signaling that as the Capcan trap is spotted. I don't think you can actually shoot it through the hatch. Does actually wiggle their way towards that angle as Gug seems to be spotting more players. Actually does catch the roamer, trying to go to Freezer, equips that gun ready to duel, but the opportunity has passed him by, and Strix tries to double up on it, takes some damage off of Cardboard, but he's immediately healed up.
That's the one time we're seeing Strix not find the kill in one of those advantageous situations, and I've been playing the same position as before. That's something that Strix should have been aware of, having to fight them on this staircase the last several rounds, is able to get the kill from below where they're just not looking. So Ivan here has to kind of watch that window. There might be others coming from there, less likely though, and I think they're hearing the sounds down below. The wide swing from Darth Pickle running is not going to be good for him. Ivan standing up there, another opportunity. Darth Pickle should have been very aware, especially after seeing their own teammate die just in that same spot before. This puts Vianney in a great spot for this round, up 2, still not losing a player.
God, Cardboard gets another stim. That's 2 stims used on a player that has tanked so many bullets, and now just the blue wave coalescing around that diffuser, knowing that all they really have to do is guard it. I feel like this could come with a little bit of risk. Treasure, they're all centralizing themselves, and that's an area you don't want to be in when Gugs is ready to duel you. But as the time continues to tick down, and Gugs might actually be flanked by the Solus, this could be a perfect opportunity if Vianney can actually get the duel peak. But as the Solus goes down to the first floor, decides to potentially re-peek, it's a lot of damned if you do, damned if you don't type of play.
Well, I think Gugs knows just from sounds alone at this point that he's dueling so far. Gets that first one, knows that there's a player right there. Goes for the second one. Is Ivan going to get the second one right there? A triple kill on the round. Another player peeks them. They're happy to just keep doing this, wasting more time. Even though they die, they're in such a winning situation. Haruno had to go down to get that diffuser. Sham Lover trying to destroy the barbed wire to give them an opportunity.
No!
Two players right on top of each other. Haruno now with the triple kill, and it's just Cosmic Ape alone and offside. Has to run back to the other side and try and make this retake as Haruno and Sham Lover are able to start the defuse going on the other side. They are blind in sight now.
The diffuser has gone down, and Cosmic Ape, he's got 40 seconds to work with. A lot of health gone on the side of Chaminade. The C4 still in play. He is going to use it to take out Freezer. Trades health for a player down. It's a 1v1. Haruno can put his team on overtime. Guarantee that. He needs to get 1 bullet, but he misses. Treasure, that could have been it, and now he can play the time-wasting game. 10 seconds is all he needs. There's a drop down in front of him and a window behind him as Cosmic Ape has to rush. 3 seconds, and unfortunately, it seems like he's not going to be able to get the kill. And Chaminade, they go towards match point and are 1 round away from ending this entire series here and moving on in the HSEL playoffs.
Another just edge of the seat game, just so tense over all these moments. I think there's a couple like sloppy mistakes there right at the beginning of that round from Chaminade, but crazy comeback potential. Like I just saw the Strix and Effant plays, the 3Ks, one for each team, just so competent. Like I love the depth of play that we're seeing from both these teams. Everyone has had their
The 1v1 to decide who would be going on to overtime. And with Chaminade now, they've got all the cards. Treasure. They can go towards Kitchen, a site that they have previously won with Gugs by their side. 17-9, Strix 11-10, and Haruno, the player that won that 1v1. Whew. Times are tough for Vianney. Do they have the grit to get themselves out of this, or at least guarantee a couple more rounds of breathing room? There's a lot up in the air here.
Yeah, this is the first time in this whole map that Chaminade has been ahead, and this is the scariest time for that to be. This is not just a map point, this is a match point. Vianney's playing for everything on the upper side of the bracket right now in this round. They have to keep that going. They have to take this to overtime right now in order to have that chance at seeing their map 3. They want to take it to theme. They have it in them. We've seen that fire every single round of this map. They have done so much to come back and show us that 7-0 on Clubhouse is not who Vianney is. They are so competent here and calm, cool, and collected in the face of so much that they've had to go through all the silliness, which has fallen away. Chaminade has had to get their serious faces on to try and find the win in this map before it starts getting dicey in a decider.
Cosmic Cave actually reinforcing that hatch pretty late into the round. And the bandit batteries are there, so that actually dealing with the Blackbeards is going to be a little bit more difficult. But Fuse is here. Treasure, he is ready to play. Got those secondary hard breach. Got the ability to take down so much utility in the side. I think he can counter every single bit that Vianney decided to bring in with Strix already by dining. He takes a couple pot shots at the player of Waxes. Decapping Vianney that early by taking him down would just be such a great sign for them. But so far, neither player has decided to push up. And the longer Waxes can stay alive, the better Vianney will look.
Ooh, this peek right here through Coat Closet could be really impactful. It's Strix that takes the kill on Waxies, just airing in there. Not sure what to be working with after the two of them both became aware of the other one's location. Air jabs going down the hallway to cut down rotations from Bakery. That's going to be pretty impactful here as we get to the mid-round. Black Mirror giving plenty of intel on Gug's location. Oh, somehow finding the headshot of Cardboard as they peek out for the kill on Strix. It's a perfect trade for the attack right there, keeping them ahead by just one player at this point. Gug's making a quick rotation around to that northeastern side of the map. They already have those air jabs set up, which could help if someone tries to swing them. And can opener opening up the freezer right here. So much leverage for the attackers.
Haruno finds a kill onto iFint, and Vianney has put up such an effort in this map. Coming down from 7-0 on Clubhouse. They've been able to put up 5 on Cafe. And these two players, they find a couple kills. Cosmic Cape with 2. Barry Godmommy with 1. And now, what a play from the two utility denial brothers inside of the site. They put Vianney on overtime and give them a second chance at life.
Enormous round right there. That's exactly what Vianney needed, especially in that clutch situation. Cosmic really showing up, and I think that might be too antsy of a play from Chaminade. We saw Gugs actually, they're going double peek on teammates 2 or 3 times, closing up on the end where there's already someone watching those. It allowed for Vianney to just keep watching their angles, and as long as they're playing tight angles and playing safely and landed shots, which they absolutely are and have been, they're able to walk away with that one. Even a scary, scary bottom of the 9th kind of setting that we saw ourselves in. Overtime is not going to let up on the pressure at all, though, so strap on your boots, Light Rose.
They've been strapped for quite a while, because this map has been... This map has been bootstrappable. It's been an exciting one. Clutches, individual plays, everything you love to see from games, and it's coming off of Chaminade in that first map. I think we're all expecting them to maybe not emulate that 7-0 again, but something like it, a 7-3, 7-4, that they would still take Cafe, but they have struggled a little bit, especially early on. They've been able to bounce back. I mean, Gugs having 18 kills definitely helps that, but as a team, I think they have done a little bit better on the attack, and now they're going to start on the attack. They might have to finish on the attack if Vianney does win one of these rounds, and Chaminade does win this one as well, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, I think one of the luckiest positions for us to be in, as people weren't in the lobby fighting for our lives, as spectators and commentators, we get this opportunity where statistically every single round is an absolute 50-50. Neither side has shown an affinity for attack or defense, so these overtime rounds swapping back and forth really means nothing for who's gonna win. We're just gonna be waiting for these picks, and the way that we've been seeing even if Chaminade takes like 3 early picks, Vianney's not out of it. They are digging themselves back out tooth and claw from any loss that they take in a round. Waxy's getting the first pick on Strix. That is those air jabs out of the way. Not gonna be able to watch the flanks. Sham Lover dying through the smoke from the defense. The hard breach has to come through, but the electrification's still up on walls. Barbed wire's going out here. The 3 attackers that are still up, making their pressure on Bakery, but there's an opportunity for Vianney to make a flank. Cardboard finishes off Cham Lover after having downed them earlier. Here we go. Finally, some real pressure on Bakery, but there's some hard peaks that have to come out if Chaminade wants to force the fight on this side of the map.
And I think they do know that somebody is by this corner as Cosmic Ape does peek. Gugs makes it a 3v3, and now, for Wumai, he's definitely stuck because there is an angle that is being held by Bakery, and they have the drone for confirmation. And I think Waxes is coming to help, but now that Haruno is no longer there, and the opportunity to get the kill is passed, and as Gugs finds another one, they can get the revive onto Haruno while getting coverage from Gugs, who does get the headshot, gets himself a quad kill, and Cardboard is upstairs. Doesn't have a C4, and there's so much time for Chaminade to work with. Cardboard is by the Red Hall stairs. Like I said, there's so much time. Time being the big difference maker. Chaminade do not have to rush. They can work through a prep, maybe use some of those large amount of bullets that Gugus has, and they know that Cardboard is over by the code check, but there's just not an angle. Darth Pickle goes off of the diffuser, heads right back on it, knowing that he is safe from the coverage. Does Gugs have the angle? Does he have everything they need to win themselves this round, put themselves on map and a match point? Cardboard, he pushes forward, he dodges a couple bullets, and Gugs ends it with an ace because, of course, he does. Treasure, one more round is needed from Chaminade to win themselves this one.
That was a really astounding round, I think, because Chaminade has never played so aggressively fast on attack like that. They were forcing fights, even when they're not necessarily advantageous. Dropping the smoke on that wall can really even things up, but usually that just allows you to get some players into Bakery without the threat of being mowed down by Mia. They actually took the first loss in that round, a downed Nomad, actually, which made me really worried for him, but the Gugs difference, I don't know, what can I say? Gugs ace through that. We saw him take that little breather. 32 rounds in the magazine still. That's technically more firing time with the slightly lowered fire rate than the LMG has than you'd get with any of the normal ARs that anyone else has. He's still got more uptime with the gun than anyone else, but he reloads for that 100 rounds. And what are you going to do once Diffuser is down? He could just spray any doorway for any amount of time he wants. There's not enough time on the clock for you to literally walk in through that 100 rounds he could just spray down. It's basically like a smoke canister.
Like, Clash is not designed to get kills. Gugs is still gonna get, like, a double, triple kill. I believe you. Guarantee you. Because they are just some different breed of player in this match. Vianney do have a good amount of drones actually on the site, and that might help them out as they do have to deal with something like the Clash. They might be able to get a flank, get her exact position, go up on that second floor, and boom, 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 use the fuse to really drive her out. As Chaminade don't really send any other players to that second floor. It is seeming to be a pretty big, small bakery type hold, and with the Clash, that does make a bit of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be a nice little opportunity. Already there's pressure on this, though. That castle barricade slowly punched away. We'll go ahead and redeploy that shield, or maybe not. There's a 3-player stack here, so I don't think there's any way Fairy Godmommy gets in that doorway. They know that someone's around there with those gunshots going through, and they hear the Clash now as well. Probably have that pinged out as well from earlier in the round. Gotta wait now for Waxies to come around. Just watch this angle, wait for someone to run out, and let Waxies get around to the other side, get that 90-degree angle that will just pressure anyone in the room. Luckily for Chaminade, they have the wherewithal to get out of their way before something happens. Trixel, though, has rotated into the line of fire of Ivan, who is barely hanging on, but hanging on nonetheless. Haruno and Gugs finding kills. Yeah, like you said, Gugs finding a kill even on just the SPSMG that he's decided to go this potentially final round with.
Roaming Clash could be the final nail in the coffin for Vianney, because they do have a player up on the top floor. They've got Fairy Godmommy with the diffuser by Small Bakery. You can use those track stingers and Waxes over by Bakery. So it's a lot of players that are the opposite. Cosmic Ape is going to make Gugs regret going on Clash, as it's a 3v3. Both of the big players on Shaman are down, Strix and Gugs. So, like I said, Haruno, he was that player that got the 1v1, but Darth Pickle and Sham Lover, we really haven't said their names as much, and this would be the perfect time to shine. And with so much time on the clock, Vianney can really make sure they use those 6 drones that they have to force Haruno either back down to the side or to take an unwelcome engagement and make this execution that much better.
Finally, Waxies has moved in here to Small Bakery, watching the corner on red stairs as Haruno slowly makes their way down. I don't think either player knows the exact location. There may be some steps heard, and the white swing is not rewarded. Shots to the legs don't finish off the kill. Fairy Godmommy on the other side takes out Sham Lover as the attackers make their way into sight. Shots landing on Darth Pickle, but it's not enough. The head isn't landed by Cosmic Ape. Second try is the charm. Haruno barely hanging on after that last engagement. Has 2 attackers to deal with in sight. And it's these LMGs that are going to make it really, really hard, especially with flashbangs coming out. Haruno needs to take a 2-kill. There we go, the first one in it. He's a 4K in the round in order to win, but it doesn't happen. Cosmic Ape in the bottom round. The clutch master for blue team here takes it to double overtime.
Oh, the shots for the LMG give me such a heart attack. Because he almost didn't find the one onto the thorn, and it took a little bit to find it onto the castle as well. But all things aside, Vianney, they have fought tooth and nail into this series to get where they are, and they have to win third floor, bar, and cocktail. And we have seen a world in which they've been able to put up a fight, but is it going to be enough? Wax on the dock does make sense when you saw how much damage Cardboard took, who goes onto the Thunderbird. That makes perfect sense for how much damage they took. But remember last time, they all coalesced around the diffuser. They all decided to head up to the top floor at the same time and just got mowed down. It just was so easy for Chamonix to counter that, get put in that 1v1, and Vianney, they've made some mistakes that can be corrected at the last second, but at the final round, they will be tested, but they need to make sure they pass because this could be it for them in HSEL.
At this point, I would not put any credence in stats to indicate how this last round is going to go, but if you really want to, I'll give some of them to you here. On this overtime, we've got all attack wins, 2 attack wins for each team, so that puts Chaminade in a significant position here. They're back on attack again, and third floor being the second choice for defensive site for Vianney, not perfect for them either. They're 1 and 2 defending this site, so technically negative as well. Neither of these are really huge stats, but they're notable, and that might have some impact here. The defense lineup is going to be able to take so much damage between Thunderbird, Doc, and Rook. Each one of them is like a tank. They're a rhino running down these hallways, and we'll see if that allows them to keep up, especially in the face of Gugs, who is basically pushing that 2.2 KD through these last couple rounds, just insanely deadly.
Gugs on the IQ has been deadly. They're spotting out a potential Solus, the Kona stations that are there. And I think that is the one interaction that we'll see that maybe will make the biggest difference is Gugs and Ifant. They can spot each other while they're on scanner. But Gugs takes out Cardboard up on the Baker roof. They have hit 25. Unfortunately, 30 is impossible.
Oh my God.
But they find the head of Wax's unfreaking stoppable treasure. They might single-handedly put this team on the way to victory, as they've already taken out 2. All the damage Vianney will take will be final, and now Cigar is clear for the taking.
That close angle for the defender right there, right by Shaiko, it might be pivotal, especially if Chaminade starts taking space very quickly. Ifant still below, trying to feed some intel with their Solus gadget. Isn't going to find anyone under New Hatch currently, but someone's going to have to be dropping down there here pretty soon, as there's still 3 attackers on the roof. Scratch that. 2 after a couple drops, but it's not where he's looking. Fairy Godmommy takes out Strix. That's exactly the first pick that Vianney needs. They've got this long angle back, protected by the ADS. That will hopefully keep Fairy Godmommy up a little bit longer, especially with defense on his left side all the way up the stairs. He takes a lot of damage and flashed, but there's still heals from Thunderbird.
Spraying on the white stairs. Chamlover gets one. So it's not going to be Gug's ace to finish it off, but the peek on Chamlover inside a freezer. Fairy Godmommy hits the shots they need to, starts to chip away at the man count lead that Shamanade has, but a 1v3 to keep Vianney in it. He's able to get the big player. Gugs, can he get any more? It's not going to happen. He has to crawl his way, get the self-revive, get the heal. It's not there, and Chamonix, they avoid going to map 3. They end it, maximum overtime. What a map from both of these teams, but unfortunately, the victor will be moving on to the next round of HSEL playoffs.
This is repeating history here, something that we kind of expected. Chamonix, the overall favored team, but it's really hard to say, especially with Chamonix being